Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, first of all, compliment. I've been living here since '79. Your snow removal has been excellent. You removed it before people had to go to work, and you removed it again before they had to come back this past snow removal. You've maintained a very high standard comparative to St. Paul. Well, forget St. Paul. You're in really good shape. A couple questions. First of all, there's some cuts going in on various corners of the blocks in the city. There's some stone facement going in. Curious as to what it is and who's paying for it. Second question, this last couple of years, this city council has been forced to dip into a reserve in order to meet budgetary obligations. Is there my understanding is, for the last 2 or 3 years, this city has picked up a whole bunch of new homes and businesses. Consequently, I think our tax base is about to occur, which should mean that we should be able to live within the money we receive. Do you anticipate that to be the case?
Yes. I think we live within our means. Taxes, I understand. Taxes are always behind, a year behind. We've always been doing somewhere between 250 and 400 homes each year. And the services we provide, all we are is a service provider. We provide the best we can at the least amount of money. It doesn't mean that we lost a lot of revenue when the market values went down. We're getting emails now that people are angry that their values have dropped way down. We also get it when the values go up, because all of a sudden that becomes a different rate on their tax rate, but not necessarily. So now we have really nothing to do with the values except to keep the city in the best way we can, whether it's roads, trails, parks, whatever.
But my question remains, do you think that you're going to have to dip into reserves again in order to meet the current budget, or will, in fact, the amount of monies received by this city be enough for this city to not have to, or maybe even replenish the reserves, ideally?
Well,
do you anticipate that happening shortly?
The reserves were actually started in the late 80s and 90s. We started to build over different funds that we used over the years, and they were pretty much kept that way until 6 years ago. We got hit really hard here, where we didn't have the revenues. We lost our market rate percentages, so we lost that part of it. And we have used reserves, and we're using them again this year, and probably the last year, because the reserves are kind of disappearing. But, Mayor?
Well, okay. As you know, there are several cities, major cities, bankrupting. I don't think we're anywhere as close to that kind of situation. But some of us who read the papers get a little nervous, okay? I would like to know, will this city try to live within the money, spend only the monies they received and not have to bond or go into reserves? We haven't been able to get LGA money for whatever reason. We shouldn't depend on it. I guess I'm still asking you, can we live within the monies we receive in this city?
If I sit in a room with 30 mayors, we're the only city that has no LGA right now. We're the only ones. We do everything we can to stay with our means. We're down, 16 employees? 17 employees right now. And we still have to provide the same service, whether it's parks, snow plowing, whatever. And we've tried to do that. With the market rate reductions, we've had to use reserve money. It was there for a reason. I don't disagree with you. We shouldn't probably be using the reserves. It's not a good use. It's mainly made used to be for an emergency or to go through what we just went through. We just went through one of the worst, depressions, if you want to call it that, and we've kept this city operating really well. But if we were not using the reserves, we would have to levy more, and that may be the point that we end up doing here. And also remember that we've closed departments here. We've got our EDA, which was here, which was a business provider here, and that department is completely closed. And it's one of the things that we're going to be talking at with our business people. But I can't think of anything else we could do to keep it do better than what we have.
Well, as you know, Dakota County is bragging because they've been able to reduce taxes for 3 consecutive years. And as you know, our county, Anoka County, has reduced taxes on consecutively 3 years. They are not dipping into any reserve or getting any LGA money. They're living within the monies received. So I asked the city, this council, to try to emulate what the county is doing. We can do better than this.
No, the county this year got an extra $1.5 or $2 million in state aid. And that's how they were able to lower their budget $1 million, because they did do some streamlining the 2 years prior. But this year they got an extra $1 million from the state. Call it reserves, whatever the city of Blaine does here. Our reserves that we dipped in are unrestricted reserves.
Explain
we
that.
keep about $2 million or $3 million over what our cash flow is going to be to function the city. That's in there in case of a tornado or a disaster, this or that. These are what we called unrestricted reserves. Now, wait a minute. Now, the housing values, as you know, have taken a heck of a bash here lately. Well, they're coming back, but there's about a 1.5 year lag after the assessor comes through. Now, we'll look into not pay 2014. We pretty much got that budget done. We haven't passed it yet, but it's as good as done. But we'll look into 2015, and then we'll come back and see where the valuation of Blaine is. Now, the information that we've got from some of the county assessors back is that the taxable valuation will be substantially more. Now, if that's the fact, because the housing is coming back, because the business valuations are coming back, which we didn't have anything to do with when they crashed. I didn't like it neither. A lot of people got hurt bad in that. But we didn't have anything to do with that. But now, if they're coming back, that means that we'll have added taxable value for pay 2015. So if we get into pay 2015, we got added taxable value. We should be able to offset that by not having to raise the taxes for the citizens of Blaine here. We kept the tax rate for the citizens of Blaine flat or down for many, many years. And it's again going to be flat again this year. So the citizen of if you look at the total value of Blaine, it's in great shape. We've got a AA, just about a AAA bonding rate. So the bonding company looks at that and they say, how are they running the city? How are they maintaining the city? How is their infrastructure? How is their roads? We started the pavement management program, bringing up some of the old wore-out roads. We do slip lining for our sewers. We maintain our water structure, putting in new towers, new wells. So the bonding company looks at that for Blaine and they say, wow, we're going to keep on raising their bonding rate, which means if you do have the debt service for something or this or that, your interest rate is nil. So,
Okay, 2 points. First of all, Anoka County did turn down $2.3 million in wheelage tax. So they may
Yes,
have
they
picked
did.
up $1.5 million, but they turned down 2.3, and then they reduced taxation levy by $1 million. So I would just want to clarify that point. Second point, my taxes pretty
Where
much
was that
stayed.
2.3
My taxes
million,
pretty
I
much
think, went
stayed
into
flat.
transportation
Excuse
schedule?
me. My taxes pretty much stayed flat, even though my valuations went down. If my valuations go up, I don't know that I'm going to be too excited if you raise taxes. Okay?
we're not going to raise the taxes. If your valuation goes up, you will pay a bigger portion because your valuation went up. This year, we're not raising the levy. We've already set the preliminary levy, the preliminary tax rate. We've set that. There's no tax rate increase for pay 2014.
I understand. Okay, thank you for your
Thank
time. I appreciate it.
Mayor, maybe the gentleman on his first question related to the corner work could meet with the city engineer and she could get more detail. We didn't really address that one.
I just wanted to respond in one way. I keep track of every year since 1999. We're paying the same rate as we did in 1999 in 2013. On a single-family home in the middle value, we're paying the same price. Now that's after a big expansion in the city, so we've kept them low all the way through it. So I don't understand but we don't take the big grants. The wheelage tax money was probably already spent before they gave it up. So, there's a lot of ways to look at a budget and compare who spends what. Believe me, we don't get the millions of dollars in grants that are coming through there to this state.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, can I also add one correction to that? The city's downsized a lot, but our EDA is open for business. Okay, we lost a key staff member. There's no denying of that. But we are still out there trying to help local businesses with their expansion needs. We've got the TIF districts going on. We have staff that is working it. We're out promoting the city at the TPC event. Our EDA, although shorthanded, not where we would like it to be, our EDA is still there, and we are still open for business and try to recruit and retain business. So I just want to make sure that we're all clear on that.
Your Honor,
Mr. Swanson.
I didn't understand the first question about the rocks on the corners. That I didn't.
Mayor and Council, my guess is it's storm sewer work. We have been systematically replacing catch basins. Many of them are at the corners. If it is that, the answer is that it's coming out of our storm sewer utility fund. It is paid for by the residents on the quarterly storm sewer rate that they pay. But you can go out, Gene Keeley, our city engineer, is here. They can get all the detail he needs on the hallway here.